Hey guys, Anthony here again with WeBackTesla, and today I want to talk about accessories. Basically, we'll be talking about window tint, floor mats, charging cable organizer, a NEMA 1450 plug, vinyl door handle wraps, a USB stick for your Tesla dash cam, and these little mats that I found for your cup holders in your storage compartments. So the first thing being window tint. So window tint was a little unique with the Tesla Model 3. As you guys may know, this all glass roof is very different than any other car, and I had to call 5 different tint shops to find someone who would do the full back glass, because the full back window goes to like the middle of the car, and most of the shops would only go back to where the factory tint is, and you would see a distinct line, and I don't know, that would drive me nuts every time I looked in the rearview mirror. I also got the runaround a few times with a few shops saying they would splice 2 pieces together and you wouldn't be able to see the seam as bad. But finally I found a shop that said he could buy the film big enough to cover the whole back window if I wanted to, and I was like, sign me up. This shop used, I think it's called Suntech CXP. It's 18% around the whole car, so the doors and the back window. I couldn't be happier with how it came out. So window tint is definitely for us a must-have. When we first got this, it didn't have window tint. My daughter sitting in this seat, she was just being blasted by the sun. I know they have those like suction cup things that you can stick on the window, but they just, I don't understand those things. Like, window tint is just so much cleaner and it makes the experience of riding in the car way nicer. So yes, window tint is a must-have in our opinion. Next thing is floor mats, specifically for the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, or Standard Range, which is off menu now. But these cars, the Standard Range Plus, do not come with floor mats. So we went on Amazon and just searched for floor mats for this car. I came across the ones that we got, and when I ordered them, I originally thought they were the honeycomb shaped ones, which I wasn't too excited about, but I liked the price of them. They weren't that expensive. When I got them, they were these like checkerboard shaped ones that actually look a lot nicer. So I was pleasantly surprised. They fit well, they're really nicely made, and they do the job. Floor mats are another must-have in our opinion, specifically for the Standard Range Plus. Next thing that we got was a charging cable organizer. This was really cheap. We found this on Amazon as well. It was easy to install up on the wall, and it just cleaned up our charging situation. With our Kia Soul EV, we would just like roll up the cable and kind of just throw it on a shelf and then unroll it and plug it back in every night, and it worked for us then. But when we got this car, we knew we wanted something a little cleaner in the garage, and now it's just unhook it from the organizer and just plug it in and plug it back in, and it just looks really nice. And on that note, we are using the mobile charger, which for us works perfect. We get a little over 30 miles per hour, which is plenty of charge for us to charge overnight. When we had the Kia Soul EV, we just used the 120 outlet, and I could put about 30-40 miles back on the battery every night, and that worked for us for my commute. But we wanted to upgrade, so that's a good segue into the plug for the charging cable. We got a NEMA 1450 plug installed right next to our breaker box, and luckily our breaker box had a spot for the 50 amp breaker, and we just needed the plug right next to it. So that cost us $400 to get that installed. We got quoted between $400 and $600. I think when you get a car like this, a longer range car, you're going to want to drive it a lot more, and you're going to want to put a lot more miles back on the battery overnight. So getting the NEMA 1450 plug was a must-have for us. So another must-have in our opinion is a USB stick for the Tesla dash cam, because all you need to do is buy one of these little, this is a 32 gig, and it seems to do the job, and it was like 17 bucks at Best Buy. It's a little low profile one, so you stick it in there and you can't really tell it's in there. And if you just put a folder on it called Tesla Cam with a capital T and a capital C, all one word, that will pop up a little camera logo. That way you can use the Tesla dash cam. And if you don't know much about the Tesla dash cam, I know there's a few videos out there if you research it, but this works to record the videos on an hour loop, and it records your Sentry mode videos, which have been pretty great. I've seen a few videos which have been awesome to see. People keying cars being caught, a judge who accidentally backed into a parked Model 3 and then tried buffing it out and then drove off. That that caught the guy. And the funny thing with that one was, I think he was a traffic judge or something related to traffic. This is definitely a must-have. It's relatively cheap and it's built into the car, so it's kind of dumb not to do it. Now these next few things are not must-haves, but they were cheap and they're kind of nice to haves. So the first thing is these handle door wraps. We found these on Amazon. They were available in like black, carbon fiber, and ones that matched the paint. So we got the white ones and they matched the paint really well in our opinion, and they came out really nice. They're easy to install. The only problem I had is with the driver's side. I don't think I cleaned the handle good enough. It did start to peel up a little bit when I grabbed the handle the other day, and I was able to push it back down and it stayed, but they were relatively cheap and easy to install. Not a must-have, but a nice to have. The next thing is the little mats that we got for the cup holders and the storage compartments. They were really cheap. They add a little accents to the inside of the car, and they're easy to remove and clean when you get all that gunk in there. I would say those are nice to have as well. They were relatively cheap on Amazon. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped some of you guys, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys considered subscribing. Leave a comment, let me know your favorite accessory you've done to your Tesla, or let's talk about what you might do when you finally pull the trigger and get your Tesla. I'll mention it real quick. I have my referral code in the description below. If you do decide to purchase your Tesla, you get 1,000 miles free supercharging. Feel free to use it. You don't need to use mine. You can just use somebody's 1,000 miles of free supercharging. No brainer. Use it. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.